from the book The Kingdom Man. Fulfill a man's thirst. The book read, Chapter 1, The Head slash Foundation. Continuing. Page 27. God is saying to us that He wants us to be an impact, an influence in time. We were placed in time for a purpose, to fulfill purpose, and in that we are to give meaning to our lives. We were born to influence time, and you don't need to live long to make an influence on earth. What have you done in your last 20 days that moved you forward in your purpose? How have you spent your time in your last 36 hours, and how did you contribute to your progress that gives you life towards your dream? What I know and realize is that we live in a mediocre world where you don't have to be a genius to be greatly, or rather to be great, simply because the world is so mediocre. All you have to do is to know why you are here. I am not special or unique. I just discovered something, and something was my destiny, my purpose for being here. And I want to show you in my books what I discovered so you can discover it. I thank God for time, because in time there's seasons, as the Bible says. There's a time and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3:1. So know that things go through phases, and we are not to get attached to phases. Such to the day you have a job, tomorrow you are fired. It's just a phase. It will not last long being without a job. Losing your job means opportunity time for you to discover your greatest skills, because a crisis such as that will push you into a world of discovery you didn't believe in, or you now began to exercise your thinking into which you really are under pressure. Never let a phase define you. Why? Because you won't be there forever. And when you come out of that phase, you got to shift from that phase. Each phase prepares you for the succeeding phase. You must enjoy your phase, but never become your phase. Too many people find their value in a title, rather, and they become a danger to themselves as soon as a crisis hit on your job, you lose your title, and here comes the phase. You must live with your phases loosely and never be attached to your phases. You must be conscious of your phases, simply that your phases are still ahead of you, the best ones. You may have lost your business, a job, a house, no problem. There are some businesses or jobs ahead of you, and you must not let your phase or your past phases rule or affect your life. Many of these moments often, or rather, many of these moments oftentimes we seek as, or rather see as, an attack from devil. Mostly these are not attacks orchestrated by devil. This is often an ordering by God to move you out of what you believe to be your purpose in life, to get a career job, retire, come home to a rocking chair and die. We call success God is ashamed. Simply that we are told that the average human only use 10% of their brain. So to be a genius, you only have to use 12%. I'm going to say that again. Someone needs to hear this. What we call success, God is ashamed of. Simply that we are told that the average human only uses 10% of their brain. So to be a genius, you only have to use 12%. It's a powerful statement. So even a genius is not a genius. What can you truly do? Where are you truly going? Most people are simply going to old, not knowing their destiny, not knowing their sense of destiny, or rather sense of destination, not knowing their address for the future or what they are born to do, what they are born to accomplish. And the sad part is they have no idea when they're finished And the average person retire and rot to senility and paralysis sets in and have no destination for their lives. You were not born just to pay bills or a mortgage. You were not born to have bragging rights on an overpaid car. This is madness and frustration, and you can clearly see why stress is the number one killer of one's life. Such as life, people live all these years going to the same old job, making other people rich, and folk die in the poverty. This is a reason for my books, because these issues must be further dealt with as we leave, or live rather, these lives, faking it so well and put on other people's clothes and drive expensive cars trying to look cute, and we are going nowhere. You were not born just as experiments. That, or rather, that's a tragedy. Every bit of a tragedy. But the greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy in life is something worse than death. And that's life without a purpose. It is more tragic to be alive and not know why than to be dead and not know life, because a dead man doesn't have to give a reason for his day. Many of us die never to know why we are born. Even born again folk have no clue what their true potential is. The wealthiest place on earth is not the gold mine, diamond mine, and oil fields. The wealthiest place on earth is around the corner from many of your homes and called the cemetery. The cemetery is filled with books. Books that people never wrote. The cemetery is filled with music that never was recorded. The cemetery is filled with paintings never painted. The cemetery is filled with poetry never spoken. The cemetery is filled with visions never seen. The cemetery is filled with dreams, never vision. The cemetery is filled with businesses never established. The cemetery is filled with inventions never invented. The cemetery is filled with great men who never was discovered. The cemetery is filled with great women never given a platform. And the cemetery is filled with remedies never fulfilled. The cemetery is filled with answers no one has ever given. The cemetery is filled with ideas never released. The cemetery is filled with products never produced because so many die with these things in their head, and right next door or in your community is a cemetery candidate. This is why my books are being written, because I was inspired by great men such as Dr. Miles Monroe, Dr. Tony Evans, John Maxwell, Ralph Marston, all great men of God who pushed me in their speaking and teaching to refine my gift. The Bible says, a plan in a man's a plan in the heart of the man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it out. Proverbs 20 and 5 rather. These are the men of understanding that draws the plan out of me, that they be discovered. Before my body returns to the dust of the ground and my spirit in the presence of the Lord. I stand to not leave this earth without being able to say it's finished. I die empty as Christ did, who declared it's finished, and Paul, who says, I ran the good race, fought the good fight, so it's time for my reward. You should not die old, but you should die empty. Declare your works finished, and not wishing and wondering if you've done all that you were to do, and not truly sensing in your spirit and by way of knowing your real purpose that done that's done God's will in this life. Reaching old age doesn't completely means you are blessed. It simply means God is keeping you around because you are still full of stuff that needs to come out of you. Some of you are still here too because of your ignorance and hard-headed ways. Keep in mind, Jesus died at 33. Was he old? No. But he was finished. Have you found your treasure to make a deposit, to leave something with us? Not your mortgage payment, not your bills, but your gifts. You need to die empty because the people around you are carrying gifts that belong, or carrying rather, gifts that belong to you. Whatever God gave you does not belong to you, it belongs to us. The wealth in the cemetery is called potential, in which the graveyard is filled with God's deposit of potential in all human beings, and they keep taking the dreams to the cemetery. And this message in this book is to say to you, or rather to say, you must not die full. What is this wealth of potential? It is one, dominant power. 2, untapped strength. 3. Hidden abilities. And 4. Used success. So many people are in this world still in the failure zone. You have reached 70 years and still haven't revealed your true self yet. Procrastination is a thief of generation, and that's why I'm writing my books, because I have to leave my gift to the world. From the book, The Kingdom Man, Fulfill a Man's Thirst. The book reads, Chapter 1, The Head slash Foundation. Concluding Chapter 1. For more information, Amazon.com/author Rev Anthony Martin, www.thekingdomcultureblog.com. This was brought to you by the Kingdom Culture Fellowship Ministries and Christian Self Publishing Company. Until the next time.